I'm James Parker, and this is Florida Story. Thank you. All right, as we dive into Florida Stories here, let's address a couple of viral trends. Me being the host of the galaxy's most popular show about Florida since, I don't know, Miami Vice, I get all kinds of tips, tweets, memes from you, and I'm going to share with you some insights I've noticed on a couple of trends here. One is the dress code at the Miami airport. This is anecdotal, sure, but over the last, I don't know, about year or so, I have noticed a trend, a series of viral photos, sometimes videos of women who are improperly dressed, barely dressed in the airport in Miami. And it's specifically the Miami airport. It's not the one in Orlando or Tampa or Jacksonville. No, it's specifically the Miami airport. And it's almost always bikinis, but it's not like they're just running around in their drawers. There's like a see-through sarong or wrap or whatever the ladies call it. But you know, the see-through clothing, usually bikinis, and you know, it's not always women you want to see in such a state of clothing. But you know, that's one of the big trends. The other one, these genius criminals who leave behind identification at their crime. Here's one that happened in Palm Coast Bay. This dude breaks into a gas station, uses a knife to jimmy the lock, goes in, steals a couple things, but leaves his debit card on the counter, saying the intent is to pay for it.
So I just broke in with a knife.
Through what? Back door?
Yeah, through the back door. It's all on the security camera, I'm sure.
Yeah, we watched it.
Yeah.
What was your intention by leaving your card behind?
So that I could come back later and pay for it.
Okay.
Just so they knew my name, you know? Just in case I got picked up. I didn't want to steal anything, you know, that's against the law.
Do you buy that? I mean, this is almost an honest sort of criminal-ish. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but if you're that honest, why would you break into a place? Why would you break into a gas station in the first? I don't know, but you know, we see weird things like that all the time. I mean, maybe he was just honest, and he's just incredibly has Florida running through his veins through and through.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
For our next Florida story, we're going to jump over to Orange County, Florida, and more specifically, the Orange County Courthouse, where in the center of Orlando at the jail facilities, there's a woman who, you know, she's old. She's already on Social Security. She's got 72 years under her belt already, but she's still working out there. She's on the custodial team after the court proceedings for the day had adjourned and almost everyone else was gone. She's in there cleaning up, and she accidentally shuts herself into a holding cell.
The janitor was cleaning the courthouse when she walked into a holding cell there and couldn't get back out.
It had a self-closing door. There was no way for her to unlock it once she was inside of it.
Inside without her phone, without food, and just a little bit of water from the top of the toilet. Vargas de Dinas was stuck there until an officer found her Monday morning.
Now, I don't know why that is so hilarious, but that story just brings a smile to my face. Not because I enjoy the sufferings of a 72-year-old grandma who's going without, you know, food for the entire weekend. But it's funny because it doesn't sound real. It sounds like an episode of Seinfeld, like one of those wacky sitcoms. Like, oh, no, look, Grandma, you got stuck in the holding cell for the whole weekend. You had to drink out of the toilet. I think doing this show is kind of making me deranged.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
For our next Florida story, we're going to Pasco County, where in Pasco County, I don't know if this is a complaint or not. Do you have problems getting your trash guys to pick the bulk stuff you leave out? What if they did too good of a job?
I would never set it over here by the trash. I'm not going to throw my furniture away.
Barry and Susie Court say they stack their outdoor furniture on the lawn. A 1-year-old 4-piece wicker set with chairs, glass table, and 2 antique rocking chairs, and their window screens. This was all so they could pressure wash the house. But while pressure washing in the backyard, the garbage truck came by. And as you can see in this photo from a neighbor's security video, the workers mistakenly thought the furniture was trash.
I can't blame them. I don't want to get mad at the garbage guys for doing their job, because if you didn't see the yard there, it's only like a couple of feet deep. So anything you put in the front yard is going to be necessarily curbside. So that's not fair. And it's not my fault Your patio furniture can be mistaken for trash. Maybe you should dust it every once in a while, or I don't know, maybe a little paint touch up or whatever. But act like you've been aggrieved because, you know, it wasn't right next to your trash and they took it anyway. Man, you can't blame some guys. They don't know. Maybe put a sign on it or something. They're not mind readers.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
For our next Florida story, this goes under the file in the Florida Stories file cabinet of why don't you just break up with her? And that's getting to be a pretty deep file in the Florida Stories file cabinet. This is in the Tampa area where a 25-year-old Florida man, he's on trial for the killing of 2 men. And just a few weeks ago, he was acquitted in the trial of killing 2 men. Now, while he had been on trial for killing 2 men, he got his girlfriend pregnant. Now, I don't know what the ideal circumstances are for a pregnancy to occur top to bottom, but I know in that checklist, one of them isn't going to be, hey, you got pregnant from a dude who's currently on trial for double murder. Well, he's acquitted 2 weeks after he is freed from those charges. He murders the girlfriend and by proxy his own unborn child. And when the cops caught up with him, hey, why did you kill this beautiful 22-year-old woman after you found out you had gotten her pregnant? He said, because he didn't want to be a father. You could just break up with her. You don't have to kill her. And there are worse things. Listen, I'm a father. I know it can be tough. It can be financially draining, emotionally draining. It is a huge responsibility, huge burden. And also it is one of life's great joys. I can understand why some people just would not want to choose this. But you know what you could do? You could just break up with her. You don't have to murder her. You could, I don't know, maybe talk her into adoption or just disown her like the old days. But you know whose fault this is? This is Maury Povich's fault, because him and all them damn genetic tests let all the women know in the world that you can just go sleep with anyone you want. It could be some murderer. It could be some soon-to-be double murderer. It could be whatever. But in the back of your mind, you know that there's going to be that little show that you can put him on. You are the father, and then you can do the little dance in front of him, and the whole crowd's going to boo, and he's going to get all upset, and then the bald guy has to hold him back, and that's where the problem is right there. Maury Povich.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Florida Stories is produced by Spring Rock. Follow me on Twitter at Florida Stories J. I'm James Parker, and this is Florida Stories. One thing no one ever told you about relationships is how many gifts are involved. There's always one coming up. If it's not Christmas, it's Valentine's, and there's an anniversary, then there's a birthday, then there's Mother's Day. And even if you're good at buying gifts, after a few years of this, you've run through all your good ideas, so what do? I have your answer. Symmetry Jewelry. Go to symmetryjewelry.com. You can't go cheap and get her something from the dollar store. And it's not enough to just spend a bunch of money. Give her $400 cash. Do you think she'd be happy with that? I know you're not a jewelry expert, but go to symmetryjewelry.com and click around. This isn't some retail chain jewelry store. This is a house of artists in New Orleans who handcraft one-of-a-kind pieces, and each piece is a little work of art. You suck at buying gifts, so the next time you have to buy a gift, get it right. Go to symmetryjewelry.com. Use promo code JAMES for 10% off right off the top. I get a little commission too. Your girl's happy. Everybody wins. Symmetryjewelers.com. Ladies, you're welcome.